Welcome, dear students. Today we dive into one of the most inspiring chapters of world history under GS Paper-1 for mains UPSC. The story of how Italy, once divided into many kingdoms, was reborn as a single nation. And this so-called movement is called Risorgimento, meaning the resurgence. So let's begin this fascinating journey. So imagine a land that once gave birth to the mighty Roman Empire, now reduced to a chessboard of divided kingdoms, ruled by foreigners and priests. But in the 19th century, the dream of one united Italy, free, proud, and sovereign, burned in the hearts of revolutionaries, thinkers, and kings. And this dream was again called as the Risorgimento, the resurgence of Italy. So Italy was the land of thousand pieces. Italy was not always one country. After the fall of Western Roman Empire around the early 400 Common Era, Italy became a patchwork of kingdoms and city-states. Where you please observe the map in the slide. The northern regions were under the Austrian Habsburg control, and the center ruled by the Papal States, and the south, the Kingdom of Naples and Sicily. So foreign domination and disunity was the norm, but change was coming. So, Italy was not always a united country. After the Roman Empire collapsed, it split into small kingdoms, as we can observe in the map. The foreign rulers dominated the north, the Pope ruled the center, and the monarchs ruled the south. And this lack of unity laid the groundwork for the nationalism that would emerge later. So, we can say that the post-Roman Italy was completely fragmented, and the northern regions were under the Austrian Habsburg, and the central regions were completely under the control of Pope, which are very famously called as the Papal States, and the south, the Kingdom of Naples and Sicily. So several forces acted as a spark for the Italian nationalism. Napoleon rule introduced reforms that encouraged the unity. But after the Napoleon downfall, through Congress of Vienna of 1815, again the monarchical control, uh, re-establishing the old regimes, finally made the people again to get exploited and become the victims. So because of this, secret societies like the Carbonari, revolutionary books, and economic changes gave people a shared identity. So most of all, foreign domination by Austria and others made Italians the dream of freedom and unity. And hence there comes the Napoleonic rule brought reforms, inspired the unity, the secret societies, literature, economy, all finally turned into national consciousness, and the foreign domination resulted in the resentment among the people of Italy. So there were four giants led the movement. The Mazzini, the visionary, inspired the youth through Young Italy movement, where Young Italy organization is also a secret organization run by him. And the second one was Garibaldi, the hero who fought with his red shirts in the south, and Count Cavour, the master strategist, used diplomacy to unify the north. And finally, Victor Emmanuel II became the symbol of united Italy. So you should remember, in the entire unification of Italy as the chapter for the syllabus, the four important personalities. Mazzini, the prophet, the young Italy Republican dream. Garibaldi as the sword by using his red shirts in the south. Count Cavour as the brain, who was a diplomat and a statesman of Piedmont and Sardinia kingdoms. And finally, the Victor Emmanuel II finally symbolized as the king for the united Italy. So now, this so-called phase one, the spark of revolution 1848, the first wave of action came in this year 1848 when revolutions broke out across the Europe as a part of nationalization during 19th century. So Italy also falls under the same. So Italians who rose against Austria could be seen in the first phase. Though these revolts failed militarily, they gave life to the idea of a unified Italy, which could not be suppressed anymore further. So 1848 revolutions across Italy, military failure, but national idea gained legitimacy. So this is what in 1848, which finally made the first step towards the unification of Italy. Meanwhile, on the other side, Garibaldi was leading his brave red shirts from the south. So 1860, he landed in Sicily with just 1,000 men and won the hearts across the south. But in the noble gesture, he handed over all the conquered land to Victor Emmanuel II, choosing unity over personal power. So Garibaldi's expedition of the 1,000 conquered Sicily and Naples handed over power to Victor Emmanuel II. You please observe the map, you observe the images in the slide, where you will come to know that Garibaldi with his red shirts, 1,000 men army was welcomed by the people. Because of that, he became a mass leader. But unification is not that smooth. Austria and Pope resisted. There are certain challenges to the unification. The Mazzini's republican dream clashed with Count Cavour's monarchy. The north was industrial and the south was poor and feudal. And the Pope refused to accept the loss of Rome, leading to the unresolved Roman question. So unification narrowed completion. It was very near to the completion, but it was not that a simple task. So 1866, Italy sided with Prussia against Austria and got Venetia. When France pulled out of Rome during the Franco-Prussian War in 1870, Italy marched in. After a referendum signed, Rome became the capital of Italy in 1871. So you need to remember two important years. One, 1866, allied with Prussia, gained Venetia. 1870, Napoleon III falls and Italy captures the Rome. And finally, by 1871, Italy was finally united. But the process of reflected both revolution from below, Garibaldi forces, and diplomatic strategies from the above, the Count Cavour strategies. So it took almost decades for Italians to feel truly united, as deep regional and cultural differences still remained. So 1871, finally Italy got united, and the dual nature of the diplomacy by the Count Cavour and the revolutionary activities by Garibaldi finally made the regional identity remain strong. So from this, it is very clear for the UPSC point of view, the unification of the Italy shows how vision, courage, and compromise can change the history. Just like India's freedom movement, the Risorgimento reminds us that unity is born from the struggle. I repeat, unity is born from the struggle and built by those who believe in a better future. So let's carry that spirit in our hearts, because there are similarities with Indian independence. So Italy's unification is a symbol of hope, unity, and sacrifice. And this Risorgimento could be the lesson even today for the youth. And this is all for this video. May I hope that you clearly understood the unification of Italy. Thank you. Jai Hind.